Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Making It Last Forever with Mike and Shoshana Bowens. We're coming to you with a very sensitive topic, near and dear to our hearts, raising children with special needs. We first got married within the first year of our marriage. We got pregnant, my wife got pregnant, and our first child was born with Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time we didn't know what that was and how to handle it. You know, we were stressed out. You know, we felt really bad. We didn't know if the child was gonna live, or we didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was a time of extreme stress and pressure. And then you have people all around you, and their emotions, they mean well,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't know what to expect either. And so, you know, it's quite different from raising a child with special needs than a child that doesn't have special needs, because you have to raise them differently.
Yeah.
You know, you want to give them the same love and affection, but the child with special needs needs a little more attention,
Right.
because they need help in certain areas. And we have 3 children,
Yeah.
so
It's a lot more challenging.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, when we were pregnant, we didn't even know that she had special needs, because it was a normal pregnancy. I went 9 months, and actually I went 9 months in a week. So she was full term, and we found out that she had Down syndrome when she was about a month old. You know, because of all the complications that was happening. She was in the hospital after that for like 3.5 months and had to do a heart surgery, and it just was the worst time in our lives at that point. It built us in our faith, but it made, for me, I was so stressed out. I was so weak. I didn't know how to handle stress. He was stressed out, and he had to go to work at the state. Like, we literally lived at the hospital, and he would go from the hospital to work, from work to the hospital, and we slept at the hospital for weeks to a month. You know, we were showering.
For 3 months, right?
It was 3. Yeah, it was 3 for the first month. It was like we never went home. Like, the doctors were literally like, you need to go home. It's you're living here. You need to go home, because we didn't know what all that entailed. We didn't know what was happening, and if she took a turn for the worse, we wanted to be there. You know, so it was a lot of stress and just a lot of things going through your mind. Is she gonna make it? God, I know I trust you, but you know, you gave us this baby girl, and now this is happening, and we don't know what it is, and how did it happen? And then, of course, I was blaming myself. I had a lot of guilt because I was pregnant with her, and you know, I was just like, well, did I eat right? Did I eat the right things? Did I not do enough? You know, did I not take enough prenatal vitamins? Did I not exercise enough? It was a lot of guilt.
One thing after the next.
One thing after the next. And you know, when I was pregnant with her 7 months in, I got into a car accident with her. We had like a little Kia Rio, and a Denali totaled the car. She and I made it out alive, thank God. But I went back to that point. I was like, well, is that when it happened? You know, did that mess up the chemical imbalance in her? It just was a lot of questions and a lot of stress. And we had to learn to come together as one, because family, they were trying to get to us, but somehow they couldn't, you know. And when you have doctors telling you that we're gonna either have to airlift her to another hospital, or we're just gonna have to watch and see what happens, it's like, when you hear a doctor say that, it's time to pray. It's really time to seek God like you've never seen him before.
And she had like holes in her heart.
She had 2 holes in her heart. The blood was leaking out from her heart, spilling into her body, and causing bacteria and all type of things that was developing in her lungs. Her lungs collapsed 3 times. They had to give her they tried to give her a trach, but we weren't having it. Just so much.
Can you say stress?
Can you say stress? It just was so much. I mean, she was on like the hospital bed, and she was like this tiny, because when she was born, she was 5 pounds 4 ounces. For a child that has Down syndrome, that's not that same 5 pounds 4 ounces for a regular child that's not born with Down syndrome. She was extremely tiny. Like, her head literally fit in the palm of my hands and still had room. You know, she was extremely tiny. And so when you see your child, your firstborn, is hooked up to breathing machines and monitors and just all type of things to keep her stats.
4 or 5 nurses in the room, 3 doctors.
Yeah, her room was contact precaution because she developed pneumonia from the hospital. And it's just so many things that goes through your mind. I was nursing her. I had to stop nursing because she weren't able to breathe on her own, so they had to feed her through a tube. That messed me up because it's a bond that I've always wanted to have. And I started that bond, but I quickly had to stop because she wasn't able to breathe on her own. So the machine was breathing for her like 75% of the time. And it just was, she died 3 times on the bed, and they had to...
You gotta explain that when you say she died.
She died, what I mean is they had to bag her because they had to put a tube down her throat, the breathing tube down her throat. So if she just moved a little bit, the tube moved and she just stopped breathing immediately. And so you would hear all these noise going off on the stats and everything. Her heart rate would drop, her stats would drop, just everything would drop. And so nurses and doctors is like running through to the room, and Mike is on that side and I'm on that side, and it seems like you're in a movie. It seems like it's not real, like this is not happening to you. You're literally out of your body and looking and seeing, this is happening to me. This is my life. This is my child. So it was a lot that came with that. We didn't know what Down syndrome was. We had no idea. I was ignorant to the fact. I didn't know what it was, and sometimes we could be so ignorant that you think that it could never happen to you, and you don't do any type of research because it doesn't come at your door.
And you just, all we did was like cry every single day.
Every step of the way.
And you wouldn't believe how many doctors, not a knock against the doctors, maybe you want to give this child up, you give this child up.
Yeah, they
send them away.
Yeah,
And let me just jump in for a second. I just want to encourage the parents out there. Yeah. If you have a child with special needs, God gave you that child.
That's right.
And that's not for you to give that child away or, send them off. God gave you that child. He's going to give you the grace. He's going to give you the strength. He's going to give you the resources that you need to take care and love that child. And that child is going to show you another level of love that you may have never experienced prior to that.
Absolutely.
So I just want to encourage the parents out there that have children with special needs, because it's not an accident. God doesn't make any mistakes.
No, He doesn't.
He knows who to give these children to.
Yeah.
Because, it takes a special parent to have a kid with special needs.
Exactly.
Because it takes more work, takes more compassion, takes more patience, takes more love. So I know it gets rough sometimes, I know it gets hard sometimes, but my wife and I just want to stand by your side and encourage you and tell you that you can do this.
You can do this.
If God be for you, who can be against you?
Absolutely. And just know that child, they have dreams. They have... they want to accomplish things in their lives, but you may have to take that extra step. The step that they normally would have taken, you have to take that step for them. You have to be the encouragement in their lives and make them feel like, what, I can do this. Yeah, I may need therapy, or I may need this extra stuff because it's more challenging for me, but I can do it because I have that family that supports me. It's just like anything. It's just with your other kids that does not have Down syndrome. You still have to give them that same encouragement and upliftment and everything. But that child that has special need may need a little bit more of a push. It's not that they can't do anything. It's not that they can't be successful or accomplish their dreams and their goals. They can do it, and they will do it as long as you continue to keep your eyes on God, continue to believe and trust God, and believe in them. Believe in them, because they can do so much more than what we give them credit for.
And what society says that they cannot do.
They are extremely smart.
There's kids with autism and Down syndrome and all other type of whatever quote unquote disabilities that play the piano.
Oh my gosh,
getting married,
own businesses,
drive cars.
Yeah.
There's really no limits.
Limits.
Every child is born with special talents and special gifts, and it's up to us as parents to help them discover what God already put inside of them.
Absolutely.
So, we just really want to encourage you. We're going to come back with a part 2 on this, and give us some feedback and help us to know that if this message touched you in any way. Thank you once again for watching Making It Last Forever. Until next time, be blessed.